Welcome to another episode of Full Time Whistle. We will be talking about the controversial dismissal of Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid. Guess what? It was meant to be an eternal marriage, but it ended in just 7 months. To understand this collapse, we must go back where it truly began. By the end of 2024 regular football season, Xabi Alonso had already made his name amongst the best coaches in Europe. He won Bayer Leverkusen's first Bundesliga title in their history. He also won the German Cup. He was considered to be one of the great modern day football coaches, and the style of football Bayer Leverkusen was playing was so exciting to watch. At the same time in Spain, Real Madrid had won three trophies: Champions League, La Liga, and Spanish Super Cup. And on the other side of the country, Barcelona had hired Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick came with his new ideas and the club backed him. They had to endure the pains. They suffered some losses on the way, but they won two trophies next season. They won La Liga and Copa del Rey. During the same season, they beat Real Madrid four times, and that was first time Barca beat Real Madrid in over 42 years. So Madrid decided to part their ways with Carlo Ancelotti by the end of 2025 season, and they brought Xabi Alonso. Xabi started his coaching tenure at Real Madrid with enormous expectations. It wasn't just to win the games, but win it with complete authority, control, and structure, and in a similar way what he did at Bayer Leverkusen. But for any coach to be successful, he must have full commitment from the players which are executing his plans on the field, and he must have the backing of the club management or Real Madrid board in this instance. The single most important question we should be asking at this point: was the players and board fully committed and invested into the Xabi's ideas? So let's discuss and analyze the players first. Then we will get to the board. Xabi started in May. Real Madrid was participating in Club World Cup, and they went on to reach the Club World Cup semi-final. They lost to PSG Super Team by 4-0. That was the big thrashing by PSG, but it was still the early days because teams need some time to execute the new ideas on the field. But the news started coming out of Spain that certain players weren't happy with Xabi Alonso's long training sessions. Those training sessions included video analysis and a lot of feedback from the coaching staff. That news got to the board, and board asked Xabi to change his coaching methods. So you kind of understand there how much authority the players had in this dressing room, because a coach had to change his ways how he was supposed to train a team, not the players. If it was another team, the players would be changing their attitude and they will be fully open to the new ideas which a new modern coach was bringing. So it already made a crack in the dressing room because certain players with the big egos and bad attitudes like Vinicius, Jude, and Fede, they weren't fully committed to Xabi's ideas. They still preferred individual brilliance on the field, and Madrid started winning the games in La Liga and Champions League. They were comfortably sitting at the top of the table by end of October, as they had also beat Barcelona in El Clasico by 2-1. But right during in that match, some big shift happened and Real Madrid team wasn't the same anymore. Vinicius was substituted during 82nd minute of the game, and he showed his clear frustration and displeasure when he was substituted. There was a big disrespect to the coach in front of 80,000 home fans. He just didn't come to the bench, he started complaining, and he went to the tunnel. Next day, he offered a public apology to the fans and the president, but he never bothered mentioning a single word for his coach. You can clearly see Like, who had the more authority? Like, was it the player or was it the coach? At that same instance, Real Madrid board did nothing. They just stood on the sidelines. They gave a free hand to senior players, and other senior players, they kind of felt like they have more power over the coach, so they kept on doing their own shenanigans on the field as well. Comes the month of November, Marca reported that at one of the training sessions in Valdebebas, Xabi Alonso gathered his team and he even shouted that, quote, "I didn't know I was coming to train in a nursery school," unquote. That's a big statement that just tells how bad the attitude of certain players were and how frustrated the coach was from them. During the next 40 days, broken relationships started appearing on the field as well. Madrid just blew the lead on top of the table and they were trailing Barcelona by mid-December. There was no coming back from that instance anymore. In early December, club floated the idea of a new coach and the name that appeared was Alvaro Arbeloa. He is also an ex-Real Madrid player and a legend, but by the time his name appeared to the dressing room, the authority of Xabi also became more weaker. At the same time, Real Madrid board kept on passing the information to media. If he drops point in league or if he loses another match, he will be sacked. So every Spanish paper was filled with that news. And after the Spanish Super Cup, the harsh and brutal news came out for Xabi Alonso as he was sacked by the club. A funny thing which everybody noticed that Real Madrid had said like they mutually parted their ways, but that wasn't the case because Xabi wanted to still stay on the bench because he knew 6 months weren't enough to implement all of his ideas. Real Madrid fan was very pissed off at the board and the players this time because most of them sided with Xabi Alonso because they had seen with their eyes how players were performing on the field. Like some senior players, especially Vinicius, Jude, and Fede, their performance have had been like below par. If we even compare Xabi's 6 month tenure with the few of the recent Real Madrid managers, his winning percentage is still better. The sacking of Xabi just didn't send the shockwaves in world of football. Khabib had to come publicly. He even said, I quote, "I think Xabi also is one of the three best coaches in the world. If this team didn't work with him, we have to change the players, not the coach," unquote. And this sentiment is shared amongst majority of Real Madrid fans on social media. So I believe Real Madrid fans with four questions they should be asking that will help them understand how harsh or brutal this sacking was or was it fair at the same time. Number one, was it the players' failure who weren't able to execute Xabi's plans? Was it the players who had complained too much that the training sessions were longer? Was it the coach decision making who didn't make the good substitutes at the right times? Or was it the board? Because they knew like Xabi is a system driven coach. So they still decided to go with him. Instead, bring a manager who focuses less on the tactics but more on the people management. So, one last question. At Real Madrid, should the system adapt to the players or must the players finally adapt to the system? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Give a like and subscribe. Thank you. Until next time.